What's up guys, this is Techricity and I've been using the OnePlus 3 for over a year now and I love it. So naturally I was all aboard the OnePlus 5 hype train. So when they came to my city I decided to go play with the phone for a little while and I felt like it was kind of a side grade because... Okay, I'll talk about that at the end. After all, this is an impressions video, and for now, here are some observations I made. So the front looks similar to last year's 3, and the back looks similar to an iPhone, but tapers towards the edges and feels nice. And the alert slider, which is great, is in the same place, useful as ever. I don't really have any complaints here, and I think the phone looks really cool. Something that no other Android manufacturer can match as of right now is just how fast this phone is. The software experience is amazing. We know OnePlus software, it's near stock Android with useful additions. Now, a lot of people are agreeing with what The Verge said in their review, that this phone is so fast it feels like it's on fast forward, and that's not a good thing because it cuts out on the animations and isn't as fluid as other phones, and I don't agree. Using the software on the OnePlus 5 just felt a lot nicer than on these fluid phones. Again, this thing is just wicked fast. Update. While making this video, I found reports of a problem with scrolling on some devices because OnePlus mounted the display upside down to make more room for the dual cameras. Personally, I didn't see this while playing with the phone, but there's lots of videos online and people are calling it jelly scrolling and it's pretty weird. Okay, now here's what's interesting. I wasn't drawn to take a look at the OnePlus 5 because of its design or its speed or anything else for that matter. Throughout my year of using the OnePlus 3 as my daily driver, I often felt like the camera is the one thing they could have done better with. The one thing that left me longing for a more expensive phone, and when I saw this clip on The Verge's channel, I got that upgrade itch.
I think one of the most common things have been the camera. Like the OnePlus 3T is a phone that can compete with all the flagships out there, but the camera is slightly, it's a good camera, it's not an amazing camera. So that's what we really chose to focus on for the OnePlus 5.
So yeah, I decided to walk into the pop-up store, play with the phone for a little bit, and if the camera was substantially better than my 3, I'd buy it right there. I walked out with my trusty OnePlus 3. The camera on the 5 is slightly better, but it will still leave you longing for a more expensive phone most of the time. And I couldn't care less about two lenses if the end image is not as good as I want it to be. Speaking of the other lens, a lot of people, including myself, are a little confused. There isn't 2x optical zoom. It's 1.6x optical zoom and OnePlus only claimed 2x lossless zoom, so yeah. Overall, the camera is the biggest disappointment on this phone. It's definitely not a bad camera, especially if you're coming from an old phone, but the OnePlus 5 just doesn't match other flagships today, and that's a deal breaker for me. I'm about to tell you why. Let's wrap up. In my opinion, the 3 and 3T were the phones to buy last year, with the perfect balance of price and features. For a phone like the OnePlus 5 to be worth it, it needs to maintain that balance, but they didn't. The price went up, but nothing is substantially improved. It's fast, very fast, but a few milliseconds don't really matter to people with anything less than a 2-year-old phone. The one thing which could have made this phone a no-brainer purchase would be a great camera, but OnePlus under-delivered. The space in between expensive flagships and budget phones was traditionally dominated by the previous year's flagships. OnePlus now totally owns this market, and the 3 and 3T were no-brainers because one could be sure the overall experience would be much better than any year-old flagship. I can't recommend the OnePlus 5 for this precise reason. I'm just not sure if it's a better overall package for most people. Bottom line, this is the best new phone in its price bracket. If you have a phone that's older than 2 years, you should definitely consider the OnePlus 5 among other last-gen flagships, which go on sale pretty frequently by the way. But if you have a good phone that's less than 2 years old, I'd say skip the 5, something I wouldn't have said for the 3. As the title suggests, this feels more like a side grade to the OnePlus 3 than an upgrade. Anyway, thanks for watching.